Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most important turning points in global affairs, the moment when Russia and Vladimir Putin found themselves stunned by how hard NATO and the European Union have hit back. What seemed at first like limited measures have turned into a coordinated and powerful response that has left Moscow facing consequences far heavier than expected. In this video, we are going to review the situation in a style you are already familiar with, looking at it from the outside, from the inside, examining its performance, the safety features involved, the unique selling points, the price everyone is paying, and finally reaching a conclusion on what this means for the future. From the outside, the image that NATO and the EU are showing is one of strength and unity. If you look at the exterior presentation of this alliance, it appears tougher and more coordinated than ever before. Russia assumed that Europe would be divided, that disagreements among countries would weaken their resolve, and that transatlantic ties with the United States might look shaky. But the exterior has turned out to be a solid wall. Massive joint military exercises, visible defense buildups near eastern borders, and repeated public statements of solidarity have created the look of a powerful bloc. The sanctions are visible too, like paint on the surface of a new building, clear, striking, and impossible to ignore. These external actions are designed to show the world, and Russia in particular, that NATO and the EU are not only awake but ready to push back harder than ever. Inside, things look slightly different but no less important. Behind closed doors, discussions in Brussels, Berlin, Warsaw, London, and Washington have been intense. Leaders from across the EU and NATO have had to work through disagreements, some worrying about the economic cost, others about escalation. Yet in the end, the interior story is one of increasing determination. Despite political debates, the common thread is unity, and that is something Russia did not fully anticipate. The interior mood has shifted from hesitation to resolve, and that determination has fueled stronger measures than anyone, especially Moscow, expected. When it comes to performance, NATO and the EU have shown surprising speed and effectiveness. Sanctions that once took months to design were rolled out in weeks, sometimes even days. Their impact on the Russian economy has been undeniable. Trade has been restricted, access to technology has been blocked, and energy revenues, once Moscow's lifeline, have been squeezed tighter and tighter. Financial systems have been disrupted, with Russia facing difficulties in accessing global markets. Militarily, NATO's performance has also exceeded expectations. Rapid troop deployments to Eastern Europe, the supply of advanced weapons to Ukraine, and coordination across multiple fronts have created a much stronger performance rating than the Kremlin calculated. Instead of stumbling, NATO has streamlined its operations and proven its ability to act quickly. The safety features built into this response are equally important. Just as modern technology adds safety mechanisms to protect against danger, NATO and the EU have incorporated layers of defense to reduce risks. Air defense systems in Poland, the Baltic states, and Romania act like protective airbags, shielding vulnerable areas from possible attacks. Cybersecurity investments are the seatbelts of this conflict, securing sensitive infrastructure from Russian hacking attempts. Security guarantees provided to member states work like reinforced frames, ensuring that if one country is threatened, the entire alliance responds. These safety features have helped calm fears among Eastern members while also deterring Russia from pushing beyond Ukraine. They are not flashy, but they provide the kind of reassurance that keeps the whole system stable. The unique selling points of this Western response lie in unity and adaptability. For decades, critics claimed Europe would never truly stand together, that cultural, political, and economic differences would prevent real unity. This time, however, NATO and the EU have proven otherwise. Their cohesion has turned into their strongest selling point, showing Moscow and the rest of the world that attempts to divide them have largely failed. Another unique aspect is adaptability. European states have moved faster than expected to replace Russian energy, diversify supply chains, and build new security frameworks. This flexibility has stunned Russia because it undermines one of Moscow's traditional pressure points, dependency on its oil and gas. Together, unity and adaptability create a package that is hard to compete with, a unique strength that makes NATO and the EU far more resilient than Russia assumed. But every move comes with a price, and this one is no different. For Russia, the cost has been enormous. The economy has been shrinking, foreign companies have withdrawn, access to advanced technology has been blocked, and military losses in Ukraine have been staggering. Diplomatically, Russia is more isolated than at any point since the Cold War. For NATO and the EU, the price has also been real, though different. Countries have faced higher defense budgets, energy crises, and inflationary pressures. Citizens have had to deal with rising costs of living and governments have been under pressure to deliver relief. Yet for now, most European leaders and their populations view this price as acceptable when compared with the cost of letting Russia succeed unchecked. In economic terms, it is an expensive project, but in strategic terms, the investment is viewed as necessary. Bringing all these elements together, we reach the conclusion that NATO and the EU have delivered a response far stronger and more united than Russia predicted. From the exterior image of joint strength to the interior determination in decision-making rooms, from the performance of sanctions and defense strategies to the safety features protecting allies, the West has shown unexpected resolve. The unique selling points of unity and adaptability have made this coalition far harder to break than Moscow anticipated, and although the price is high on both sides, the balance of cost is clearly heavier for Russia. Putin has found himself in a position where the game he started has turned far more difficult than expected. As the situation continues to develop, one lesson stands out clearly: unity is power. The stronger NATO and the EU remain together, the more difficult it becomes for Russia to achieve its goals. What started as a gamble from Moscow has now turned into a heavy burden, and the shock that Putin feels today may only grow as the months ahead bring further challenges. This is a moment in history where alliances are being tested, but so far, the results have surprised even the strongest skeptics. That is the true impact of NATO and the EU hitting Russia harder than expected, and it is the story that will continue to shape global politics for years to come. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to stay updated on world events explained in a clear and detailed way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The world is changing quickly, and together we will keep breaking it down step by step.